What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bet Daily. We will try and stay focused during the show. If you're not watching the World Cup, you should be. 2-2 in the final. Argentina dominated the first half. France came back, scored 2 goals in a span of like 3 minutes. Mbappe got them both, and now we are going to extra time. It has been a wild up and down game. Aaron, you just turned it on when I mentioned it. Even that 5 minutes was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I will admit, Argentina had that chance. I don't know, it was about 2 minutes left, I guess, and that was like, whoa, that was actually a really good save. So I've got it on. I've got you guys on this split of the screen, and the other side of the screen is the World Cup. So
yeah, when I'm looking over this way, it means I'm watching the World Cup. It's one of those weird spots too. I thought France would win, but I didn't bet it because I want Argentina to win. Interesting part of this, if they do go to PKs, I do like Argentina because France has taken off a bunch of their players. Argentina also won the Copa America in penalties. Their goalie is actually very good at stopping penalty kicks. And their players have all taken big clutch penalties. So if we do get to that point, we've got 30 minutes, 2 15-minute halves here. I don't know if they're playing golden goal or not. Man, that would be crazy if they are. If you're in the chat and you know if this is golden goal, let us know. Golden goal means next goal wins, essentially. But if we do get to that shootout point, I like Argentina in that spot. Papa Dude, Michael specifically came for your World Cup analysis. After watching 0 minutes of this game, what do you think?
0 minutes of this game and didn't even know it was playing today. And I haven't turned it on, but I picked Argentina from the start, so they're not going to win because I jinxed them. So now let me get this here. So golden goal, what's that mean? Golden
goal means the next goal wins.
Well, how come we don't know that? Isn't that a rule?
Well, I'm not. So in some tournaments, golden goal plays where it means that the next goal wins, but they only do it in the finals. So like throughout the semis and the quarters, you play the full 30 minutes. So one team can score and you can score back in that 30 minutes and then you can go to a shootout. Golden goal essentially means it's over if someone scores.
So it's death.
Yeah, and that's what we're here. Yeah, so Michael's saying it is, and Jesse chiming in saying sudden death, which makes this even more crazy exciting here.
And there's no PKs?
No. And I would be surprised if this takes 30 minutes to someone score based on the way both of these teams have been attacking.
Okay.
So it should be a fun year. Oh, okay, yeah. So there is no golden goal. 2 15-minute halves of extra time. If match is tied after extra time, winner decided on penalty kicks.
Yep.
So there we go.
Are penalty kicks.
It's not sudden death, 30 minutes here, and then if it's tied, then there'll be penalty kicks. Yep.
This is Messi's last World Cup game. I hope Argentina pulls this out.
Me too. He's never won, right?
No, he's never won one. The first major tournament Argentina won was Copa America a couple years back, and that was his first major win as an international player. So it'd be great to see him go out on top here with the World Cup. If he scores a goal, I believe he gets the Golden Boot as well. Right now, Mbappe has the Golden Boot for most goals in the tournament. The tiebreaker's assists. Messi has more assists than Mbappe, but he's one back, so he needs to score essentially a goal here to get the World Cup and win the Golden Boot all in one. So we'll see if Messi can pull it off. He was the one who actually was stopped on that save that Aaron was mentioning earlier. So that would have been a hell of a way to end the storybook.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the NFL today. We got a full slate. We're going to kick it off here, no pun intended, with the Lions and the Jets. The Jets laying 2 in Zach Wilson's triumphant return to the New York sidelines, or New York play, actually, because he's been on the sidelines the last couple games. We'll start out with you here. This has been an interesting line, Aaron. The Lions, it's opened up pick, and then you had this announcement that he was going to play. I expected the Lions to become the favorite, but it hasn't gone that direction. The Jets still the favorite here. Total opened at 50.5, ticked all the way down to 42 with the news. Now we're back up to 44.5, which is where it was Thursday. Who do you like, Aaron?
Listen, you know it, and Papa Dude knows it because we have been rolling with these Detroit Lions for weeks, and it has been working out. And every week I say I'm going to go with the Lions, but I'm sure this is the week that they're going to buck us. You know what? If they buck us this week, it doesn't really matter. We've won like 6 times in a row on them, so we've done okay on them. Look, I think they're better than the Jets, period. I think they're the better team. I think they're playing better than the Jets. I don't know how anybody could argue that they're not. I mean, so I'm taking the Lions. Sure, give me the 2 points with them as well. I wouldn't be afraid to play them on the money line. I think they're an exciting team. I think they've got an exciting coach. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions and hope they keep rolling.
Yeah, if I'm if you're playing teasers, I love the Lions as a teaser like here. You can get them up to +8. They're in that Wong zone where you can get a profitable teaser angle there. I think the Lions +8 here on a teaser leg is good. I like the Lions as well in the game. I have no interest in betting Zach Wilson. None. Like I don't understand why they're getting bet here. Papa Dude, what are your thoughts?
Totally agree. Almost made it my best bet. I'm a little afraid that the Lions, they've won a bunch. They might not win today. That bothers me a little. So I didn't do it. But I love them in this game. I wouldn't even I feel like they should be the favorite in the game because the Jets are fading. If the Jets lose, I think they're about done in the playoff race. I think they desperately need to win. Of course, Detroit does too. If Detroit wins, they're right there. What a story that would be. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. That Minnesota comeback meant a lot to Detroit. That would have gotten more and more interesting here if we went week and week and Minnesota kept losing and Detroit kept winning. There's a couple divisions up for grabs. One of those is the NFC South. The Panthers now have a shot at winning this division because of the absolute mediocrity that we have seen from it. Steelers are catching either 2.5 or 3, depending on where you're playing. Total sitting at 37.5 in this spot. We get Mitch Trubisky back. Zach Wilson and Mitch Trubisky both starting here in key games for their teams. We'll start with you, Papa Dude. Who do you like here, Steelers or Panthers?
Isn't this division just pitiful?
It is awful.
It is pitiful. If the Panthers win today, I think they'll be tied for first place. I really do in the division. Because they will be
one against Cincy too. We'll get to that later, but that's I think a loss for the Bucs down there.
Oh, I do too. I almost went with that one as my best bet. After watching Tampa out in San Francisco and the Bengals are playing great. Yeah, I think they win that game. I'm going the Panthers today. I think they're going to win. Pickett is out, right?
Yes,
yeah. Right. And he's the one that was playing really, really well for the Steelers when they started playing a little better without him. I don't think they're going to go to Carolina and win. Carolina could have won a couple of games earlier anyway. They're not awful. I like them, and I think they might win the division if they can get this game.
Yeah, I like the Panthers if you can get the 2.5, depending on where you're playing, because they have learned to establish the run. J.J. Watt looks banged up. The Steelers have struggled stopping the run. I'm not like this is just an awful quarterback game. I mean, it's just atrocious. You got to trust Sam Darnold, but they're not going to let him throw the football very much. But man, the Steelers defense against Sam Darnold's got to scare you at least a little bit, right, Aaron?
It does, but I'm telling you, this Carolina defense is really good too. And so that's very scary as well with Mitch Trubisky. To me, it's so much. It's going to come down to turnovers and which quarterback makes the least amount of mistakes. What a line I'm getting ready to say right here, but I think I do trust Sam Darnold more than Mitch. And I think that's where it's, really, I think that's where it's at. And I've watched this Panthers team almost every week because Mayfield was there to start the year. So then I'll watch them. And I'm telling you, their defense is elite. It's very good. If they had a decent offense, they would win this division going away. Now, when you are this bad on offense, you can lose to anyone, right? So that's the worry. That's why I can't go out and say, yeah, they're going to win this division. But I think they should win this game today. They play pretty well at home. They, as of late, after trading all their players, have played better than they were playing before. I'll take the Panthers.
Any thoughts on this total sitting 37.5? I would lean under. My big concern is those quarterback mistakes. Although, Trubisky likes throwing red zone picks, so that helps you if you're playing the under, obviously. But Panthers are going to run the ball. They've run it 45-plus times the last 2 games. That's going to grind down on the clock. The Steelers' offense isn't exactly dynamic, especially with Trubisky in the game. 37.5 is pretty low, but I would still lean toward taking the under.
Me too.
I guess you said it. Like if you don't get defensive scores, you're probably going to get under.
Yeah.
But you have 2 quarterbacks where it's semi-likely that you could get a defensive score. I don't hate defensive special teams first touchdown here either, because I'm sure you can get a pretty decent number, and you may not see a touchdown for quite a while in this game. So you might have multiple opportunities there to try and pull that one off. All right, let's go to a game that's going to have a little more offense in it. 48.5 the total here in Houston for the Chiefs taking on the Texans. This line ticked up from 14 to 14.5 this morning with the announcement of 3 Texans starters on the defensive side of the football out, just what they needed. Papa Dude, are the Chiefs going to sleepwalk through this one?
They usually do. And we talked about this on our show. They just don't cover these spreads. They very seldom do. they should beat them as bad as they want. They do have to win to keep pace with the Bills for that last spot or that number one spot in the playoffs. So you'd think they'd be somewhat motivated. Houston is terrible.
They're awful.
They're just awful. They played great last week against Dallas. You wouldn't think they'd have much left. They've got to cover this. But I just can't. I just don't know where they will. I've bet them before at 10 and they haven't been able to cover in games they should. So I'm a little scared that they cover for sure, but I think they should.
Yeah, I would take the Chiefs or pass, which is odd because usually it's dog or pass in these type of games. I can't back the Texans after last week against Dallas when they clearly played an A+ effort. The Chiefs don't have a look-ahead game here either. They're taking on Seattle next week. Then they have Denver and the Raiders to finish their season. If anything, they'll look ahead next week against Seattle. I think they probably play pretty well here. I kind of like Chiefs first half in this spot. I also like Kelsey anytime touchdown because the Texans are awful against tight ends. Aaron, what do you think about this one?
If you bet the Chiefs with this point spread, you're just asking for it every week. It's true. They're a joke. When it comes to betting the Chiefs, it's a joke. You're sitting there 27-0 last week in Denver, and you're having to sweat that game out. They're a joke. I'm sorry. When it comes to betting this team, they should beat the Texans 48-0. That's how much better they are than the Texans. Are you going to be shocked if they don't? I'm not.
No, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if you think this is going to be close, I think you lean toward the over here because I don't see how the Texans defense is going to stop the Chiefs. And if the Texans are able to score, that's how they keep this close, and that's how you put points up.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a pass game. I mean, I don't want to back the Texans, but I don't want to pick the Chiefs either. So
I like Kelsey anytime touchdown. I like that one. He's bound to score a touchdown in this game, I think.
No doubt.
I mean, their team total is in the low 30s. If they get close to that 4 to 5 touchdowns, one of them is going to be to Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to the game that got flexed into your Sunday night football game here. The Giants taking on the Commanders. Commanders laying 4.5, coming off their bye. Total is at 40.5. I'm sure you remember, but 2 weeks ago we saw this exact game before the Commanders bye. Ended up in a 20-20 tie in overtime. It was one of the more frustrating games of the year. I thought the Commanders were the better team, and then they completely choked it off in the middle of the game and came back and were not able to get it done in the end here. 4.5. It was 2.5 2 weeks ago. We've obviously switched venues, so you're talking about a point per home field, which doesn't seem like very much here, Aaron.
No, it doesn't. And everything really points to the Commanders in this game. The Giants, we talked about them a lot. It's just one of those things. They played so darn well early. Everything kind of went well for them, but we kept saying this roster is not that great, and it's kind of starting to show. However, listen, it was 20-20 last time. Like you said, interdivisional games can be very tight. There's no question about it. I just feel like the home advantage for the Commanders is going to make the difference here. I am going to go with the Commanders. And it's another thing. I trust Heineke a little bit more than Daniel Jones in this situation.
Okay. We've got some shitty quarterbacks in the NFL, don't we, Papa Dude?
Oh, God, yes. Yep. Heineke, though, is a gamer. He does some really good things, and I think the teammates like him. Whoever wins, I think, is going to win the division, or it's in the playoffs. I think they're in. That'll give them 8 wins. They'll be 8-5-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're in, I think, whoever wins this, unless they just totally collapse. I like the Commanders, too. I'm not sure about the points. That half kind of bothers me. Beat me yesterday. It could beat you in this one, too. I think the Giants will play pretty well, and I don't think the Commanders are capable of just blowing people out. So I think I might take the Giants plus the points, but I think Washington's going to win.
I'm with Papa Dude here. I think this is Giants or pass from a point spread perspective. I don't want to lay any more than 2.5, 3 with the Commanders against pretty much anybody at this point. Maybe Houston, I would. They should play well, but Taylor Heineke, this is wild. I agree with you, Papa Dude. You have this mentality that he's a gamer. They play well for him. They've won games with him. Second lowest QBR in the NFL. The only person worse is Zach Wilson.
That's true.
So the stats, when you look at it, aren't good for Taylor Heineke. Although
right.
You think about it, and you think this guy makes plays, and you've seen him win games, and it's just the stats do not necessarily back that up. No. I'm not willing to lay 4.5 with him.
Exactly. He doesn't throw for very many yards in a game. If you'll look, he doesn't.
One of the more intriguing games of the day, in my mind, is the Tennessee Titans heading out to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers a 3-point favorite. It's juiced to the Titans minus 120 in most places. Total sitting at 46.5. This team's going in different directions. The Chargers look great on Sunday night, taking care of business against the Dolphins. The Titans have been an absolute mess the last two games. They kind of need to win today because it could get a little weird for the division at this point if they keep losing. They've got Dallas next week. It doesn't get very much easier for them. They've got Jacksonville looming the last week of the season, which actually could be for the division based on the way the Jaguars have been playing. We'll talk about them in a second here. Aaron, who do you like here, Titans or Chargers?
Everybody's feeling good in Charger land. Everybody's excited. The Chargers are back. Titans will beat them today. That's how the Chargers are. They'll go for it like 6 times inside the 5 and not get any of them, and they'll lose. I'm going to go the Titans to upset the Chargers today.
People are thinking about that Miami game. You know what Miami's mistake was? They didn't run the damn ball. The Titans today will run the damn ball, and the Chargers are not good against the run. Derrick Henry had almost 100 yards in the first half last week. He is going to get a lot of carries here, Papa Dude. I actually like the over because you have a Titans team that can't stop the pass with a healthy Chargers wide receiver crew, and you have a Chargers team that can't stop the run with one of the best running backs in the NFL. I think 46.5 might be a little bit low here.
Mm-hmm. And it's a game, again, it's a must-win for the Chargers. I think they clinch a playoff berth. They're really solid if they can get it. But good Lord, I can't beat them. I can't pick them. I never can. So I always pass. By the way, Pedlo just mentioned something about the Rated X Superstar last night. Pedlo, I'm going to give a special shout out on our show tomorrow night on that. I've got tons of statistics on Rated X Superstar.
Our superstar.
Rated R, whatever.
You know his name. Come on.
Well, I thought that sounded stupid. But anyway, well, it's not as dumb as X-rated, so there you go. So, but anyway, Pedlo, stay tuned. I have done some research on this horse, and I don't think we want to do it on this show. But Aaron and I will cover this tomorrow night because Aaron loves the horse too. And I found some unbelievable statistics on this horse. So
real quick comments from the chat here. Rob chiming in, Commanders fan. I'm sorry, Rob. That's rough life. As a Dolphins fan, I feel some of your pain there. He says he can't take the spread there. It's late in the 4.5. Simply because they never ask him to throw deep. It's hard to score points if you're not throwing deep. Michael chiming in, taking the Chargers here, -3. Kind of like Dan's call here. The 2 TDs for Derrick Henry. I think that is probably sitting at probably +300, +400, somewhere in that range. That's generally what you see for those +2 TDs. I think that's a pretty good call as well.
Oh, Argentina almost scored.
We're in the 105th minutes. We're about to have extra time in the first overtime period here. There's chances on both sides. I'd be surprised if we get the penalty kicks, but if we do, talk about high drama right before the NFL kickoff. All right, let's head over to the ice. Got one marquee game today. The Penguins +100 heading into Carolina, who is -120 in this spot. Total sitting at 6. Papa Dude, we'll start with you. Who do you like here?
Toss up. Just a toss up. Pittsburgh's playing good. God, Carolina is too. Got to go with the home team. That's the only thing I would go. You look at the total. 6 is not very high. Carolina plays really well defensively. This will be a really good game. But I would go just strictly home team. Take Carolina. Now, Carolina played last night, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they did.
Mm-hmm. I believe they did. I'll double check.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They beat the Stars last night. Yep.
Yeah, so that was I went in overtime too, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming off a very tough game, and Pittsburgh did not play yesterday. So you might play that angle too. Pittsburgh's going to be fresh. Carolina, really tough game against the Stars. So this is really a good one. I think Carolina will win at home, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Penguins pull it out.
Yeah, give me Carolina as well. I think they get the job done. Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go Carolina. I think Pittsburgh a little bit overvalued in the spot from a price perspective. Two teams that are pretty evenly matched, but I think the home advantage for Carolina will end up working out. I'm going to go Carolina minus the 120. You don't get them at a bettable number very often on their home ice against a team that I think they're better than. So, yeah, I'll go with Carolina.
All right, head over to the hardcore, talk about one game today. The Red Hot Knicks headed in to take on the Pacers of Pick'em there in Indiana. Total sitting at 227. I'm ride or die with these Knicks right now. I mean, they've won 6 in a row. They just beat the Bulls back-to-back games in Chicago. Give me the Knicks here on the Pick'em. Papa Dude?
I agree. I'm right on them too. They're hot, and the Pacers are not that great. I think the Knicks get them today, unless they're flat, but I don't think they will be. So I'm going Knicks as well.
Aaron?
Oh, NBA basketball. This is why I come on the show for, to kind of think about these NBA games. Pacers, big. Knicks are done. Pacers, big tonight.
All right, let's head over to the race of the day. Headed over to Aqueduct, race number 8, $100,000 or $90,000 N1X allowance. We'll call it the de facto feature on the card. Your favorite, the 4-horse Money Supply, 2-1 on the morning line for Chad Brown. Manny Franco aboard here. Lost to win it last time. He looked very good. St. Tappet before that, who we know I like, although he has turned into not being a very good horse. Aaron, who do you like on top here at Aqueduct?
I like Money Supply on top at Aqueduct today. I feel like this horse, you kind of mentioned it, has been facing some very nice ones, in recent time. Like you said, the St. Tappets, Happy Jack isn't too bad. Creative Minister, horses that are pretty darn good. I think they just kind of got a little over the moon with this horse after that maiden win at Tampa on Sam F. Davis Day. Kind of spotted this horse a little bit over his head. Now we're at a flat mile, which I think is going to be good. But most importantly, read through the names here. It's like, okay, this is not the horses that he's been facing. I think Money Supply is going to outclass him in the spot. So I will take the favorite today in this one.
Yeah, I think Money Supply is a logical favorite here. Makes a ton of sense. Should get a pretty decent pace set up to chase behind. Other horse I'm interested in, who I'm going to put on top, I'm going to go with the 8-horse Southern Flag for Bill Mott here. This is one where it took a while to break the maiden. We just did it last time for the first time. But if you look back, I mean, it's Miles D, it's DeCali, it's Accretive, it's Expressman that beat him. That's a pretty good list of horses that he lost to in maiden special weights. Now we're getting first time against winners, has tactical speed to run right behind the speed here. I'm hoping we get a good trip and a decent price here at 92.
He's decent. I think he's the kind of the light bulb play, as you like to say sometimes, where it takes a while, but when they finally do break the maiden, they'll go ahead and do it again. And if a horse, or go ahead and win again, I should say. And if the horse has been running in big maiden special weights on the NYRA circuit, or maybe out in Southern California, Santa Anita and Del Mar, when they get to those allowance races, it's not that big of a jump up because they have been facing, like you said, you read them off, some really nice horses, some horses that have went on to win allowance races. So it's not a big jump up, and this is a really good allowance spot for Southern Flag. I think if you're looking for an upsetter, that one makes a lot of sense.
Yep. All right, let's head into the best bets of the day here. We'll kick it off with Papa Dude. And I think it's interesting, Papa Dude. I'll mention something when I give out my best bet as well. You're going to take the Bears catching the 9 points today against the Eagles.
I am. There are 3 reasons. Okay. Reason number 1, Dr. Tang has been telling us. Huh? He's been telling us in these heavy favorites, and 9 points in the NFL is a lot. You bet against them. And he's been right. So Dr. Tang's not on there today. Dadgummit. I was hoping he was going to be here. That's reason number 3, though, Dr. Tang, if you watch this later. It's not reason 1 or 2. I'm not going with you totally, but I'm just going to throw that out there. All right. Here's what I'm playing. I don't think the Eagles are going to be ready to play. There he is. There he's on. Okay. All right. So, Dr. Tang, you better not let me down. That's all I'm saying. All right. Because everything else has let me down. Okay. So, he loves the Bears. Okay. Now, here's the deal. I don't think the Eagles are going to be ready for this game. They're due to have a game where they're not quite ready. They got Dallas next week. So this is a trap game for them. Okay? Justin Fields is going to play today from everything I read this morning. The weather is another huge factor in Chicago today. It's going to be bitterly cold. I don't think that'll bother them too much, but it's the wind. The wind is going to play havoc. The Bears like to run the ball. Okay, they're going to have to run it, and they run it well, and Fields will make a big difference for them. I think the Eagles are going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover that 9. So I like the Eagles a lot today. Wait a minute. Oh, who scored?
Oh my God!
I think Argentina scored. Yeah, that's a goal. He's
What do
pointing
you
in the
mean
middle.
you think they scored?
Well,
See, when
so,
the ball goes in the net.
there was a wild save by the French goalie, and then the rebound, an Argentina player kicked it into the net, but there was a French player who was probably 2 feet into the net that blocked it back out. It looked like the whole ball crossed the line.
That was the craziest sequence I've ever seen. All right, sorry,
It
Papa.
did not.
Right now it says 3-2. I'm sure they'll review it and they'll give us a better angle. But the head-on angle made it look like it went in, but the side angle is going to tell us. They're showing it now.
Well, we're going to pause here.
We'll see if it got. He's onside. That's clean.
Oh, yeah, it's in. It's a goal.
Yep, that's definitely in. 3-2 Argentina.
Right.
We've got 10 minutes plus
Thank
5
you.
minutes of stoppage time left.
Oh, that was an incredible effort by France. So holy cow. Okay,
Who got
sorry.
it? Was that Messi? Messi got it too.
Yeah.
Golden boot. How about
Well,
All right,
it's not
Bob.
over yet. Anyway, go ahead.
He
Papa.
gets the golden boot?
If everything holds, he would get the golden boot now because he's tied Mbappe in goals and he has an additional assist.
What an honor. Golden boot. Is it shaped like Italy?
I mean, it's a
Yeah,
boot,
it's a
so
boot.
obviously. Although Italy is more of a woman's boot than a man's boot when you look at
That
it.
is true. That is true. All right, but anyway, I'll finish up. Bears will lose, but the Eagles will not cover. That's what I'm going for.
I like the Bears today as well, and I agree with all of your reasons. I think this is a look-ahead game, and my best bet is the other team that I think will be looking ahead today. The Cowboys taking on the Jaguars down in Jacksonville. I think the Cowboys will be looking ahead to that Eagles game as well next week. The Jags just have to keep it close here. This is a team that I had faith in early, and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. They have started to play better later in the season. They're still in it for the division title, so I think you're going to get a good performance here from the Jaguars today. I'm going to take the Jags +4, and hopefully both of those teams don't cover heading into that big matchup next week, Papa.
Hope so.
The text chain's going to be pretty damn funny today with you guys trying to back the Bears and the Jags. There's going to be some frustrating moments. I like the picks, but you guys are going to get frustrated at times because I guarantee you this is not going to be easy today.
No. It won't be easy.
Oh, man.
I mean, I picked a team yesterday that was down 33-0, came back and lost it, my bet, by half a point. So what do I give a shit? I don't care.
We didn't talk about the NFL games yesterday. That first game was freaking wild. Minnesota should have beaten them badly and just came out sleepwalking in that thing. Yeah. And then that game last night, that was a great game between the Dolphins and the Bills. That was phenomenal. It was one of those. I was proud of the Dolphins. Even though they lost, I was proud of that performance. We got lucky to beat the Bills in Miami. We played with them last night. So we'll see if they are able to build off of that and make the playoffs now, because that's now in question.
They got to get home. They got to get home and get to playing better. Have you ever, you don't see a schedule very often where you have to play 3 straight road games.
2 on the West Coast, flying across the country on a short week to play your division rival in the snow is a bad spot.
Makes no sense. Crazy.
All right, Aaron, take us to the ice here, just trying to run it back with some Jets.
Well, yeah, I got the best bet home yesterday was the Jets. It was the most mispriced game on the board, and boy, it was one of the most lopsided games yesterday out of all those. 5-1 Jets win. Guess what? The Jets are the most mispriced game on the board. Again, tonight, they go to take on the Kraken. Now, we've been giving the Kraken a lot of credit, and for good reason. They're having a nice second year of their franchise, and they're having a nice season. However, they're starting to regress more towards what we thought they would be. And Somich, you and I, and well, Papa Dude mentioned it too, we were shocked how much they were scoring, right? Well, that scoring is kind of starting to slow down a little bit. And now that that's happened, they've struggled. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. They're coming home tonight off of a long road trip. They're playing a team that's just simply better than them. Winnipeg is a better team than the Kraken. The thing you got to worry about, it's back-to-back nights. Winnipeg did play last night. The good news, it was 5-1. It wasn't like a max effort, had to play 3 periods and an overtime and a shootout type of thing. They pretty much cruised in the 3rd period. So I think if they come out and play a decent game, a strong game, they're just simply a little bit better than Seattle. A lot of respect for the Kraken. However, Winnipeg, really nice team. Play well, they're going to win tonight. So I'll take the plus money on the Jets.
Yeah, it feels like we might be seeing the strike of midnight here for both the Devils and the Kraken. Maybe that slipper doesn't fit so well after a hot starts by both of those teams who are playing above their head.
Yeah, with the Devils, they won so many games that if they slow down a little bit, they're still going to be in a decent position. The Kraken, they're going to have to get going again, or they're looking at missing the playoff, that kind of thing. It's still really early in the NHL too, so long way to go. Kraken need to get going again.
All right, let's run through the best bets here so we can enjoy the rest of this World Cup game and the NFL action today. We've got Papadou taking the Bears +9, Aaron taking the Jets +135. It should be +135. I'm on the Jags +4 for the week. 3-10. We're getting killed this week. And I bring it back. We're down $1,094. We will be back next Wednesday through Friday for the final 3 dudes who bet daily of the year. Thank you very much for joining us. Good luck today. Go Argentina. Finish this puppy off, baby. Have a good one, everybody.
And we're still here.